Natalie Portman. So talented. Hey everyone, welcome to their top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 favorite Natalie Portman movies. Yes, Natalie Portman, my god, she is just such a raw talent, this actress is. I've been watching Natalie Portman ever since I've been a kid. I've been a fan of Natalie Portman for a long time. Even when I had no taste in movies whatsoever, when I watched her in the prequels, I'm like, oh my god, she's attractive. But hey, I was still a fan of her, and I loved watching her films, and just seeing her whole filmography. Like, she started so young and such a great film. I'll talk about that film when I get into the top 10 list, but when she first started out, just like, my god, this is a true talented actress, and she's gotten nothing but better and better as she's kept going. Yes, she's played in some stinkers and some really bad films and some pretty cash grab movies, but all in all, I think she's a true talented actress who's played in a lot of great films, and I'm here to celebrate all those great films by giving my top 10 personal favorite Natalie Portman movies. Alright, let's get to it. Here's my top 10 favorite Natalie Portman movies. And as always, for our top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Thor, Everyone Says I Love You, Thor the Dark World, Heat, Jane Got a Gun, The Darjeeling Limited, Cold Mountain, and Paris Jataeum. All great films, just give me the top 10 list. What did in my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is Anywhere But Here. Yes, Anywhere But Here is actually a very good film. She did a few like these comedies and even romantic comedies. This is not a romantic comedy. This is a movie solely based on a mother-daughter relationship and stuff. But she did like other movies like Where the Heart Is and stuff. Pretty weird and kind of lame rom-coms and stuff, but this was a legit good movie. This is still during that era when she was still starting out and stuff, and like she was pretty young. She was like in her late teens in this film, and my god, is she good in this movie. Yes, she plays in this movie with Susan Sarandon. She holds her own with Susan Sarandon. It's basically about this mother-daughter relationship that's a very rocky relationship and everything, and also like dark pasts and everything. I think this is a really good dramatic film and also a very comedic film. I think Natalie Portman is very funny in this movie. I think Susan Sarandon is really great. I think they both work perfectly together. I think they have excellent chemistry with each other. There is predictability and there is a formula to this movie, and it is very formulaic and stuff, but I still think it is a very good film with very heartwarming scenes and really good performances. Susan Sarandon and especially Natalie Portman really hold their own in this film, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, and yeah, I enjoy it. Coming in number 9 is a very underrated dramatic war film called Brothers. Brothers is, I'll admit, it's mostly held by Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire's performance. But Natalie Portman is still very good in this movie. Like, the story of this movie is about Tobey Maguire's character, and it's Natalie Portman's husband, and he is a soldier, and he gets shipped off to go fight in war and stuff, and he gets captured, and basically, he's pronounced dead, and really he is captured by all these, like, terrorists and stuff, and he's brutally tortured and stuff, he's beaten and stuff, and his brother, Jake Gyllenhaal, has to, like, take care of the family, and he eventually falls in love with Tobey Maguire's wife, played by Natalie Portman and stuff, and then they find out that Tobey Maguire is not dead and he has to come back home and find out that his wife is in love with another man, and that other man is his brother, and also during this time he is dealing with post-traumatic stress and everything, and this movie is so good. This is a very compelling movie. It has some sloppy moments when it comes to the screenplay, but I think this movie is completely carried by the excellent performances by the whole cast. Jake Gyllenhaal is amazing in this film. It's Jake Gyllenhaal. Tobey Maguire, I think, steals this entire film. He is truly excellent in this movie, and he really shows a person with PTSD. Like, he does an amazing job. But Natalie Portman is also really good in this movie. She actually has some pretty comical moments, and I bought her chemistry with Jake Gyllenhaal and even Tobey Maguire, and I bought her as this loving wife who wants to help her husband, but also has these feelings for his brother and stuff, and I think this is a really great story with a really good ending. It ends properly. I didn't know where this movie was going to go with its ending, but I think the ending is absolutely perfect, and I absolutely love this movie. It's heart-wrenching to watch. It's very dark. It's pretty raw at times, but I think it's absolutely excellent, and it's completely carried by the performances, and one of those performances is Natalie Portman. Coming in number 8 is 2016's Jackie. Jackie, yes, she plays Jackie Kennedy in this movie. Yes, this movie is directed by Pablo Larraín, and Oh my god, Pablo Larraín, what he did with this movie is truly excellent. This is a terrific character study during a very tragic event, during the shooting of JFK and stuff. And this is basically Jackie Kennedy. It's like in the sort of like near future, and she's talking with a reporter played by Billy Crudup, and she's telling the story of what she had to do during the shooting of JFK, the shooting of her husband and stuff. When he got killed, she had to basically run the office for a few months till they elected another president and stuff. And they show her, being president and stuff. It shows her how she had to deal with all the aftermath and with her kids and stuff and with the press. It's a really great movie. And again, this is also truly excellent, solely based on Natalie Portman's performance. Her as Jackie Kennedy is amazing. She does the voice, like the voice that Jackie Kennedy voice. She does it super well. I completely understand why she was nominated for an Oscar. The movie is beautifully shot too, and Pablo Larraín's direction is absolutely solid. It's a very well constructed film. The supporting cast is also really good. You got like Peter Skarsgård and Billy Crudup and stuff. Everyone gives a great performance, and the editing is also very sharp. The costumes, the makeup, the score, all of it's really good, but mostly is Natalie Portman's performance is absolutely top notch. She is excellent. I couldn't think of a better actress to play Jackie Kennedy other than Natalie Portman. I loved this movie. I thought it was a really compelling watch, and again, mostly it was due to Natalie Portman's amazing performance. Coming in number 7 is a very overlooked dramatic comedy called Beautiful Girls. Beautiful Girls is such a good movie. This is directed by Ted Dam. Ted Dam has done a lot of amazing movies. Like, watch, like, Monuments Avenue and stuff. Like, watch this guy's work. The Ref. The Ref's another great movie he did. He did a lot of great movies, especially in the 90s era, and, like, this movie is one of my favorites of his. I watched this during the time period when I was, like, watching all of, Mira Sorvino's movies, because when I watched, about like 10 years ago, I watched Mighty Aphrodite, the Woody Allen movie, and I really liked Mira Sorvino in the film, so I just like watched her, almost all her filmography. Like I watched like Romy and Michelle, and I watched Beautiful Girls and stuff, and this is a really great film, actually. I think it's a really good character study about all these different characters and stuff. Like, you got Timothy Hutton's character, Matt Dillon, Michael Rappaport's character, and their relationships with all these other girls and stuff, like Mira Sorvino and Rosie O'Donnell, and Natalie Portman. Very young performance by Natalie Portman, and she's fantastic. I think she, out of all these pretty big actors, she steals this film. She has like this sort of friendship with Timothy Hutton's character, and all the friends think Timothy Hutton is like in love with this like little kid and stuff, and they're like calling him names and stuff. They're like, are you attracted to like a little kid and stuff? But he's like, no, it's like a weird friendship that they have, and it's actually the best scenes in the whole movie. The Timothy Hutton and Natalie Portman relationship, this friendship that they like blossom in the film. It's really good, and I really loved Natalie Portman's performance in this film. I thought she was excellent, and this has a very big, stellar cast, and she really holds her own. I think she is the show stealer in this film, and yeah, Ted Dam's direction's great, the writing's great, there's some really good comedic elements to the film, there are really good dramatic elements as well, and I think this is a very overlooked film. A lot of people haven't seen it, so if you can find it anywhere in your local stores, give it a buy. It's fantastic. Coming in number 6 is another very underrated / overlooked film. That's Closer. Closer is directed by Mike Nichols, and Mike Nichols, again, this guy has directed amazing films like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and The Graduate. A lot of great films he's directed. This is a very good film. This is a great indie film, basically about relationships and who not to trust and who to trust and everything. About being loyal to your partner or your wife or your girlfriend and stuff, and this is a terrific movie. Like, 4 amazing performances in this film. Julia Roberts, Jude Law, Clive Owen, and most importantly, Natalie Portman, who was nominated for an Oscar with Clive Owen. Amazing. She is so good in this movie. Like, you don't know whether to trust her character. You think she's, like, the most likable character, but actually she's probably one of the most manipulative characters in the film, and she does an amazing job in this film, and almost all of the scenes she has with Jude Law are really great scenes and very compelling scenes, and this is a truly fantastic film with really good dark comedy at times, but it's an interesting story about relationships and about being loyal and being faithful to your partner and stuff, and it's an interesting story with a very unique spin at the ending. The ending I just did not see coming. Just a really great film, and again, Natalie Portman is just amazing in this movie. Coming in number 5 is a very early performance by Natalie Portman, and definitely one of her most controversial performances, and that's Léon the Professional. Léon the Professional is so good. This is easily probably like Luc Besson's one of his best films. This and The Fifth Element's like the best of Luc Besson and everything, and yeah. Léon the Professional, yeah. Natalie Portman is in this movie, plays the character Matilda. Very mature role. She's like 12 years old in this film, and the shit she has to do in this movie, my god. Like, I watched the special features of Léon the Professional, and the shit she had to go through in this movie, my god. Like, her parents were like, oh my god, you have to smoke cigarettes? You're a 12-year-old kid who was attracted to like a 40-year-old? Like, what the fuck? Just like, there's a lot of things, like, it's very controversial, this film, like, the relationship between Léon and Matilda. Like, Matilda's in love with Léon, but Léon just wants to take care of her. It's nothing like that with him and everything, but it's an interesting story, because it's about this girl who loses her whole family, and she wants to work for Léon and become a hitman just like he is, or become a cleaner just like he is. This is a fantastic movie. Great action, dramatic thriller with great performances. Like, John Reno is fantastic. Gary Oldman is a phenomenal villain. Natalie Portman is the show stealer as Matilda. She is super good in this movie, and you really feel a lot of sympathy for her character. And yeah, this movie, again, as controversial as it is, it's a fantastic film, and it still holds up. Coming in number 4 is a movie that I really didn't think it would be good because it's directed by Zach Braff, and a lot of movies Zach Braff directs is not really that great, but this movie's amazing, and that's Garden State. Garden State is so good, like, written and directed by Zach Braff, also starring Zach Braff, about a guy basically coming home because his mother passed away and everything, and he meets a girl and stuff, and he wants to stay in his hometown because he almost blossoms this relationship with this girl, played by Natalie Portman and stuff. Basically, it's about, like, you know, facing your past and everything. It's a great sort of coming-of-age sort of story and everything, and yeah, I love this movie. This is a really funny film. A lot of people might not think it's very funny and stuff. It's kind of like an art house sort of comedy. I adore this movie. I think this is so good. I thought Zach Braff was great. I love Peter Skarsgård in this movie as his best friend. One of my favorite, like, best friend characters in film. He is just so hilarious. There's a cameo of Jim Parsons. It's a really funny cameo. It includes medieval times. And Natalie Portman, again, is the show stealer. Like, a lot of movies she does play in, she steals the film. She is so good in this movie. She's easily the most likable character, the most interesting character, the funniest character, and she's a character that you just feel more connected with. And I love her in this movie, and her chemistry with Zach Braff is fantastic, and I absolutely adore this movie. I think this is a really great, compelling, very funny story that I just enjoy watching. Coming in number 3 is a movie that is very weird and very dark and not very watchable in the slightest bit, but a lot of people say it's like Natalie Portman's best performance, and it pretty much is, and that's Black Swan. Black Swan, again, is incredible because of Natalie Portman. Yes, Darren Aronofsky, a director that I do enjoy and I do admire, but his movies I can kind of take it or leave it. A lot of his movies are mostly like one and dones for me. As great as they are, they're just one and dones. Like, I can't really watch them again. Other than The Wrestler. The Wrestler is pretty amazing, but Black Swan is a hard movie to watch. It's dark and disturbing. It's an homage to Perfect Blue. A lot of its inspiration is from Perfect Blue, an anime movie that I really can't watch very much, but Black Swan's fantastic. It's very deep and psychological and dark and very fucked up, especially in the ending. Darren Aronofsky's direction is absolutely, it's sensational. Like, Winona Ryder is great, Mila Kunis is great, but Natalie Portman, Oscar well-deserved. She is incredible in this film. Amazing. That's all I gotta say. Just amazing. Coming in number 2 is a film that just came out this year, and it's one of my favorite films this year, and that's Annihilation. Yes, Annihilation. Again, Alex Garland did it again, Ex Machina. I still think Ex Machina is a little bit of a better film, but Annihilation's fucking fantastic. I've seen this movie twice. I feel like I need to watch this movie just more and more because the more I piece it together, the more just how genius this movie is. This is a very thinky, thought-provoking, smart sci-fi film. This is a brilliant film. Super well constructed, very great visual storytelling. This is a very, like, reminiscent of, like, 2001: A Space Odyssey and stuff. This is, again, it's very metaphorical and philosophical and stuff, and I love the themes and story elements of this film. I think this movie is absolutely fantastic. And Natalie Portman's amazing in this film. So is Oscar Isaac, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson. Everyone is really great in this movie, and I thought Alex Garland's direction was absolutely spot on. I wish it stayed in theaters more and it didn't go to like right to Netflix and shit like that. I think this movie is so fucking good. This is in my like top 3 favorites of the year so far, and yeah, I love this movie. And my number 1 favorite Natalie Portman movie is, I think this is probably the most underrated superhero film of all time, and it's actually one of my favorites in my top 10 favorite superhero movies of all time, and that's V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta, written by the Wachowskis, so fucking good. This movie is incredible. This is a great movie about anarchy and our government and a lot of great social commentary. This is the kind of future that we can have in our future, so it's fucking terrifying, this movie. I love this movie. I love the hero, this vigilante V who wants to strike the hearts of the government, and he fights for the people and stuff, and then Natalie Portman's character, amazing. Like, when I talk about character arcs, I talked about this when I talked about Sam Rockwell and his performance in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. His character arc in that movie is one of the great character arcs. Same with this movie. Natalie Portman's character arc in V for Vendetta is one of the great character arcs in film. Her character just learns so much, and the changes she goes through in this film is incredible. I don't want to spoil too much because it ruins the amazingness of V for Vendetta. She is a truly compelling character, and she gives a truly haunting and great performance. She's fantastic. Hugo Weaving is also really great as V. You got John Hurt as like this prime minister who is just downright twisted, and yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It has great social commentary, great storytelling, fantastic writing, great action sequences. It's a very relevant story, and it talks about realistic things in the government and politics and stuff, and I absolutely adore V for Vendetta. It's super underrated. It's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time, and it's my favorite Natalie Portman movie. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite Natalie Portman movies in my opinion. So in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10 list? If not, you have to give me your guys' top 10 favorite Natalie Portman movies in your guys' opinion. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.